In this video, I will show you how to set up your contracts within eWebRenter. In order to properly set up contracts, I need to explain how they work. Think of contracts as a vehicle type, or as we call it, a rental category. For example, take a motorized unit versus a towable unit. Obviously, you wouldn't need to mention bringing the unit back with a full tank of gas if the customer rented a towable unit, but you would if it were a motorized unit. And this is why you have the option to print different contracts for different vehicle types or rental categories. With eWebRenter, you'll set up your contracts to reflect the text that is right for each rental category within your company. In a previous video, I showed you how to set up rental categories as well as the rates that are associated with that particular category. Now these contracts also coincide with those categories. Let's take a look at the rental categories just to refresh. I'll select Admin, Lookups, Rental Category. And you can see there are a lot of different categories, so there will be a lot of different contract types as well. Now let me show you where we set up the contracts for these rental categories. While under Admin, I'll select Location, Contracts, Find Location, and I'll open the main store location. I'll select the Rental Contract Information by Vehicle Category tab. And you can see there are different items on the list that coincide with most of the categories that we saw previously. Let me open one just so you can see how it looks. Now there are 3 different forms that will have specific text that will need to be entered for each category. Here we see the quote text. If I click on this magnifying glass here, you can see how the form will look. The quotation header that you see here in this field is what you will see at the top of the form. The information you see here in the bottom section is what you will see here on the bottom of the form. The text you see here on the left side is what you will see here on the form. Now this particular form has the same text for both the quotation as well as the reservation request. The only difference will be the header, which is what you see at the top of the form. And you have full control of what you would like to call this particular form. Instead of calling it Information Request, you could change that to read Reservation Request. Over here, by selecting the Rental Contract tab, you would enter all information that's associated for your rental contract. Again, your magnifying glass here allows you to view as you're editing. And here we have the actual charges. Now that you have a better understanding of how these contracts work, I'll go ahead and set up a new contract category for the new Segways the Rental Center is now offering. To do that, I'll select Create New, and now in the upper right side, I'll select SW for Segway, and it automatically fills in the contract type for us. I'll add my header here, as well as my reservation request header. Now to save myself some time, I'll save this form here. I'll come back over here and we'll pick the golf cart. Now I'll click and drag to highlight the text here. Using my keyboard, I'll hold down the Control key and select the letter C. And that copies that text. Now I'll save and close. Open the Segway. Put my cursor focus in this box. Select the Control key on my keyboard again and select the V key. And that will paste the information in there for me. Now I can just go ahead and update any information as opposed to rewriting the entire thing. Now once you've gone ahead and entered all the text that you wish here under the rental contract information, as well as your actual charges, You'll save and close, and then you'll see it appear on the list here. Now I'll jump into a vehicle class. Vehicle, class pricing, find class. And here you can see on the right where the categories come into focus. Here we see the RV category covers Class A's, Class B, and our Class C motorhomes as well. And here at the bottom, you see the new SW class for our Segway. If we open this, you can see this is where you select the rental category that tells the program which contracts to print for which classes. Now when I view a reservation for the Segway, the quotation, the rental contract, and the actual charges would all reflect the new contract setup we just added. And as you can see, we're only seeing the information that we just copy-pasted on this left side. It hasn't been adjusted because we didn't make any changes. And we also don't have anything down on the bottom for the legalese, again, because I didn't enter anything. But I just wanted to show you how everything coincides and works together. And I would also like to note that the cancellation policy is a location policy form and will be the same for all rental categories. You can also customize this form by entering the text that suits your company's needs here. You can preview this form during modification using the magnifying glass here. Be sure to select Save before you view the magnifying glass in order to reflect those changes. The pound signs here under the Address tab indicate the numbers you see here. Now let's say you've decided not to rent Segways any longer, and there's no need for this category on the contracts list any longer. We'll just open that particular category type. And in the lower left corner here, you'll just select Delete Record, and it will no longer show on the list. That's how to set up contracts for rental categories within eWebRenter. In our next video, I will explain how special pricing works.